Good afternoon, everybody. What is going on? I am Jeff grantMEDIA, and this is my 6-month update for my Y3 Redline Rally 23-ounce BraveStar Gauntlet jacket. Now, I know I did miss month 5. It's for 2 reasons, really. If you've been following the channel, I have been incredibly busy pumping out content. I've been doing a lot of different products because it's a holiday season, it's a busy season, so a lot of companies have been reaching out to me, and I love to review gear. I love to test things and try things out, so I've been swamped with that. And there wasn't much of a difference between months 4 and 5, mostly because it kind of got cold, so I haven't been wearing it as much. So when it's colder and rainy outside, I'm wearing a warmer or a rain jacket or something waxed to keep the water from soaking through to my skin. But I have been wearing my jackets. I've been kind of breaking up my days. I'll wear like a jacket at home, I'll wear a jacket out and about or going to work, and then I'll generally wear another jacket at work, and I'll switch it up. One day I'll wear like the gauntlet at home, and then I'll wear something else at work, and then I'll switch it up and I'll wear the gauntlet all day at work. So I have been wearing this just about every single day, but it hasn't gotten so much wear that there wasn't that much of a difference between months 4 and 5. But month 6, there is a considerable update, and it's not for the good. We had an incident. We had a projectile vomiting incident where the jeans that I'm wearing and the jacket and a few other things like blankies and toys and the sweatshirt I had on got covered in vomit, like horror movie projectile vomit. And it wasn't something that a hand wash or a cold soak could cure. So I did throw this in the machine, and I mean, you might be able to see it with me wearing it. We'll do our close-up shots, but we got some abrasion fades from the washing machine. I did not throw this in the dryer. I did hang it to dry like I normally did. I put it downstairs next to my furnace, so it dried relatively quickly, but it didn't turn out so hot for me because the jeans, these were new, so these faded or these bled the indigo, so a lot of my fades actually got a bit covered up from the indigo bleed of the jeans, and then I got a bunch of these obnoxious, terrible looking abrasion fades from the inside of the washing machine. I did turn it inside out. I did wash it. I had a sweatshirt in there. I did throw a couple extra towels in there. And I did also accidentally turn Miss Hazel Fantastic's pink Squishmallow a bit of a lavender color. She wasn't too happy with that, but she was forgiving, so thank you, Miss Hazel Fantastic, for forgiving me. But a lot of my nice fades that I had going did get a bit covered up, and then I did kind of see, yeah, you can totally see that. Duke the dog, we were out for a walk like 2 days ago, and he just kind of pulled, and yeah, we're walking next to a building. It's kind of an alley. Car was coming, and then a guy was walking a dog, and one thing led to another. He kind of pulled, and more or less my elbow did not feel very good for the next hour or so because I cracked it and dragged it for an inch or two on the brick, and it wasn't fun for me. So I'm kind of wishing, even though the fade looks cool now that I'm no longer in pain, I kind of wish I did not have that elbow fade because it was not a very pleasant feeling. So we're gonna stop rambling on. Let's go over the fades, or the lack thereof, for month 6 of the Redline Rally. We will start by checking out my once most prominent fades, and that would be the honeycombing that we can see on the inside of each of my arms. Now, while I did wash it and they did relax quite a bit once I put the jacket back on, all of the creases did come right back. So I have a feeling that these fades will pop back out relatively quickly, but this was just washed about 5 days ago, so we haven't really gotten too much wear since the incident. If we go down to the wrists, on both sides, we are still seeing quite a bit of fading here, and that is because I have been trying to wear this jacket as much as possible over the past several days since it had dried to try to wear some of these fades back in. And the wrists, because they are a high contact point, they did come back out pretty quickly, basically the next day after working at my desk and wearing the jacket around the house. These wrist fades did pop out, and they're coming along nicely. I'm really liking the way that these are looking, and also the denim on the wrists here is feeling very nice and soft, almost like a nice heavy sweatshirt. If we want to continue up these inner seams of the arms up towards the armpits, you can see both seams are also again showing some nice high contrast fades. This is again a high touch point from the arms rubbing against the body of the jacket. Coming up to the armpits, We did have quite a bit more high contrast fades here prior to our wash. This was a nice high fade point for me wearing a backpack, and just for my arms moving and articulating, just the jacket kind of creasing and rubbing much like the inner elbows did. The armpits and upper chest area were looking really, really nice. Coming to my right chest pocket, we can see my earbud fade is also starting to come back nicely. This pocket has housed my earbuds since day one, so it has been fading for the past 6 months, but like the rest of the jacket, it did take a bit of a hit of the indigo bleed from my jeans. But in addition to the square fade that we are seeing from the earbud case, we can see that the seam on the outside right side of the pocket is getting a nice bit of fade there as well, because the case does also push out on that, and that being a seam is a little bit more raised, so a high contact point. Now, if we look to the outside tab of each of the pocket flaps and up right above them, we do see quite a bit of high contrast here as well. This would be from my backpack straps, mostly walking to and from work. We did have a lot more fade from riding the scooter all summer long, but again, sadly, a lot of that has been covered up. Coming down the center of the jacket with the button flaps, we can see that there is a nice fade going on for the center 2 buttons. That is because how I wear my jacket, I generally button these 2 buttons and these 2 buttons only. And below the lower one, we can still see that weird straight line that has been forming for a couple of months now. I'm guessing it's just the way I sit or move, because I'm not really sure why this fade line is here, but this has been here for a while and I kind of dig it. Coming down a bit further, if we go to the hand warmer pockets, we can see that the right hand warmer pocket certainly has more fade than the left. This is again because I am right-handed, so I'm always putting my car keys in and out of my right pocket, so it certainly sees more action than the left. Coming up to the inside of the collar, if we pop that, you can see the center line where it rubs against my neck does have nice fading going on here. The best point of fade being the very center back of the neck. Now, before we flip the jacket over, if we kind of take a scan of the front of the jacket, this is where we can kind of start to see all of these abrasion fades from the inside of the washing machine. Again, I did have this jacket turned inside out and it was buttoned up, but alas, we still have some disaster. Mostly these fades on the front of the jacket we can see here on the left chest pocket towards the inside, and on the right shoulder we are also seeing some obnoxious fades here. In addition to that, the way the collar is actually laying now on the left side, it kind of sticks out a little bit more, but I'm guessing that's more from the way the jacket hung and dried in my basement than from the actual washing machine. Once we flip the jacket over across the top center of the jacket, we are really seeing these washing machine fades. That is probably the most prominent spot that I noticed, and it makes me sad every time I see it. Now, luckily, the big center panel, while we do see a few smaller abrasion marks from the machine, it's really not that bad throughout the center of the back. Now, here we have not seen a lot of fading going on, so it was still very dark, so it would be incredibly prominent if we had some of those abrasion fades throughout the middle of the back, but luckily they seem to be mostly contained to the center upper back. Now, coming down the elbows of both of the jackets, we can still see a bit of the sheen that we had been seeing for some time. That did not go away even with the extra indigo crocking from the jeans. On the right elbow, in addition to that high spot where the dog kind of smashed my elbow against a brick building, again, not a very fun experience, we can also see a lot more white on that elbow. And that is again because I am right-handed, so I tend to favor my right-hand side. So when I'm leaning, I am often putting my right elbow down over my left. If we switch back over to the left side, we do still see quite a bit of fading throughout the elbow, but this is still more of a shine or a sheen as opposed to the white cotton fibers coming through. The lower lumbar did have a little bit nicer fading going on prior to our incident, but you can still see some of the actual fades coming through here. I don't think it's ultimately going to be that bad of a thing. Because the indigo lifted so easily from these jeans, I think if I do a cold soak or two, I could probably get some of that back out of the jacket. Now, these are not Selvage denim jeans, so I'm not sure what indigo or what dyes at all were used to make them. So I'm hoping that I can get some of that back out. And the creases set right back in, so all my creases were already there. They were completely set in the jacket. Even though I washed it in the machine, they creased back in within the same day. So I also think with a little bit more wear, I'm going to see all of those whites coming back through and get all those high contrast fades back. And if we can kind of stay with this mild streak we're in, which I know we won't, we just had like freezing mid to low 20-degree weather for like 2 weeks. Now it's like 50 and rainy again. I can probably get some more outdoor wear in my jacket and just kind of hopefully bring some of those back. But I'm not giving up. I still have 6 more months of fading time to go, and I've got a pretty big project planned for the backyard that I will probably be doing early in the spring. So this jacket will get worn. There will be tools, there will be lumber, there will be saws and hammers, and there will be drills and concrete. So I'm going to actually put some hours working in this jacket coming up probably around, I want to say March. I want to start early. I want to get it done before it gets too hot. Last year, I put off most of my projects, and then it just got super hot and I ended up sweating and dying anyway. So I'm going to try to start in March before it gets too hot here, March or April. Hopefully I can get some money to buy some lumber because I need a bunch of it, and lumber's expensive these days. So stay tuned. There will be more updates. Hopefully there will be much better fades coming along. It is heavyweight denim, so we should see some really high contrast fades coming along as soon as we start really doing some work in this jacket. So stay tuned, and don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Smash that big red button and ring that bell right next week so you get notifications the next time I post a brand new video. Good night.